Hep around the house. I got a 1970 Power King transmission. I took the top off. We're having trouble with the gears sticking in different, like first or second or reverse. Not ideal when you're using the tractor, of course. And I found that on the bottom of your shifter, you've got this little round steel disc. Point at it, right there. And that's wearing. Of course, it's softer than the material that it's recessed into. All this does is it pushes your forks and grabs the different gears for your transmission. There's detents in it, so it stays in gear. And I went online and I printed this off. This gives me the original dimensions when it was manufactured. It's what is that supposed to? It's supposed to be 0.5625 wide and 0.301 thick. Okay. I don't think the thickness is the problem. I think the width is the problem. Right here. This is slopping around in there and it gets locked up. Let me see if I can show you a second. See if we can see if you can see that. See that slop? That's just too much slop in that recess. So the idea is to weld that up, and we'll just take this whole thing apart, go out on the Lincoln welder, MIG welder, and MIG weld that up and grind it down by hand. It's not going to be perfect, but we can achieve pretty doggone close. The one I rebuilt is really nice. It shifts so much better. I've already taken that set screw out. You know, this set screw that keeps the spring. See this set screw? But they used a straight slot one, and it's easy to strip. And I think from the factory, in this particular transmission, someone had taken some sort of a, I don't know if they used a punch, but they punched the thread, so I could not get that thing out. So I had to grind it down a little bit to get it out. I'll probably just replace it with a regular set screw with a hex head. But yeah, let's see if we can get the spring out of here. Okay, here's one of the springs. There it is. Check that baby out. Let's see what else. I think there's a detent next. See if that will come out. Tap it with a hammer. Might have to get a magnet. All right, let me grab a magnet a sec. Okay, we've got a little magnet now. Let's see if we can get it in there. So I'm gonna take a little bit of screwing around, huh? Here, let me pause this and I'll get that out of there. Okay, that ball was absolutely refusing to come out of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop. You've got, let me show you this. This is going to be kind of in depth. You can skip through some of this my talking, because sometimes you don't need to see it, sometimes you do. If you do, skip it. I usually do. You can see that this slides back and forth, right? Now in the end, you got like a dust cover. And what you need to do is slide that, and slide that with force. In other words, hit it with a hammer, and then this will pop out. Save it. You need it. Don't damage it. Don't beat it so hard that you bend this. Take it easy. Tap it out nice. Let's see if I can show you. And then I just tap it like that. There it goes. Now just pop that out. It's in my hand. See that? Right there? There's your cover. Little dust cover. So that's out. Save that. Now, of course, that's slid out now. See this? It's all the way out. It comes out the back. And get it to go back in like that. What I do is I have to drive this pin out with one of these. So you just tap that out nice and easy. We're not swinging for the fences. Nice and easy. I'll do this off camera because there's no way I might be able to hold the camera and show you this. Okay, just tap that all the way through. And the roll pin just fell into the bottom, or I guess the top of the transmission. It's down by that spring that holds the shifter lever in. So that's out. In one hand this a second. And now this fork is now disconnected from that shaft. So let me take it out. Let's see if I can do this on camera for you, just so you can see. So this is what the pin looks like. Let's take that pin out and set it over there so we don't lose it. And now let's see if we can do this on camera a second. So what you do is you rotate that down, get your punch, punch on there like that, and just tap it. It doesn't require a lot. Back you up a little bit so I don't hit you. It moved. It's moving. See, I'm not hitting it. I'm not hitting it very hard. There we go, it came out. And then this fork should be loose from the shaft. And it isn't. I might have to use a little bit of force to even get that to go. But now, watch this. You see that come out the other side? Watch. See that? And that machined area right here, that's where your detents go to keep that from moving once you put it in gear. Just that simple. Let's see if we can get this fork off here. Now this is all on video, or I'd be marking everything. Again, you want to put it back together the way it came apart. This is pretty important. You put it together wrong, you may have a big surprise. You'll be taking it apart again and putting it back together again, you know, to get it right. So let's get it right the first time if we can. Now all this is really hard. This is hardened, this is hardened. The knob, or the point on the end of the shaft right here, your shifter lever, that's not hardened. That's what wears. So that's why we got to weld it up, because it's the softest part. Let's get this out of here. Again, we're just going to take that shaft out. There it goes, and the fork's coming off nice. See that? So the fork's off. There, fork's off. Throw that aside. Let's pull the shaft out the rest of the way. Now, there is a detent that there is a ball, a bearing up here that we didn't get out. It won't come out. So now once we pull this out, we should hear it fall. We should. Or it'll stick in there because it's greasy, nasty, and dirty. Okay, I didn't hear it fall. Let's see if we can see if it's still in there. I can't see anything. I can see it's way, way, way back in there. So it's still in there. I'm gonna want that. That's my next goal, is to get that stupid ball out of there. See what happens. No, nothing yet. I can see it. At least I can see it's still in there. See if we can get it fall out. That didn't work. See if with the old magnet trick will work. Nothing yet. Just got to work it. Because it's dirty, I might take it outside and spray it with some brake cleaner. Get some of that moisture, because the moisture, it's thick, so it's keeping that bearing, that little ball bearing, it's keeping it in there. But let's work this other one and see if we can get this other fork to move. Now see, the mistake I made, I'm gonna have to probably put this stupid pin back in, because in order for me to drive this dust cover off, I have to have this fork, I guess, affixed to the shaft to drive that cover off. So unless I can do it, you know what? Let's just see if we can get this spring. There's a spring back in here that keeps your shift lever in. So let's pop that loose and see if I can get it off without taking this one out. That's exactly what I'll do. Let's see if I can do that on camera. Just take that. It's not a heavy spring. It's not going to smash your fingers and hurt you. It's very light. It's a very light spring. It goes in and out real easy. When I saw that spring in there, it's like, uh-oh, because I'm thinking along the lines of like a strut tension in there, like you know how much tension a strut has. It doesn't. It's very, as far as finger smashing or make you swear in pain, I don't think that that's the case. This is a pretty light spring, but I don't know if I'll be able to get it off. I don't know if I'll be able to get it off without getting this off. And if I have to put that pin back in, I will. Yeah, you gotta work it. I'm gonna put my gloves back on before I hurt my fingers. I might have to go get a different screwdriver too. This one's awful small. Let's see. Well, the idea here is you've got these little tabs and your spring fits behind it. You just work these tabs. I almost had it. Okay. I don't think I can see the end. I don't know if this is the end or not. Let's see. Excuse my hands. I am doing this all live, so. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a bit better screwdriver. I'm going to kind of do this off camera. I'll show you as much as I can. Okay, so I got that pin back in, that roll pin. I knocked the end out of that dust cover. And as you can see, got 2 bearings and a spring. 2 bearings here and a spring. You got 2 dust covers. And I think I'll be able to get away with not having to take that roll pin back out, and I'll be able to manipulate. Let me show you. And I will be able to pull that spring out. And of course, the idea is also not to stab the living shit out of you, or the living crap out of yourself with the screwdriver, because been there, done that a million times. And the camera's sitting on my lap, so you have to imagine that's why it's moving so much. But I kind of want to show you. Now what you do is you work this around, and that spring comes out. And if I can avoid taking that out, but it looks like I might still have to take that out because that spring is going to have to come past that. You got that spring loose in there. Let's see. Oh, okay. I wanted to show you that little thing too. Now that goes between, that sits, this little part right here is very, 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 I would have no idea we would ever find one of those. That sits between both of these shafts. So that sits right in here, and that gives you a little detent where it sits, I think neutral, can't swear to that, but that's where that sits. So when you put it back together, and I'll show you how that goes back together. So let's continue to massage this spring and see if we can get it out of here. Maybe a smaller screwdriver. There it is. I can't believe that that came out that easy. Well, it's not out all the way yet. Maybe I spoke too soon. Because as you can see, that spring is still sitting behind there. So let's see if we can kind of manipulate that to get it out of there. All right, I'm gonna have to take that. I am gonna take this roll pin out. So give me a second, I'll pound that out. Okay, that spring is now, or not the spring, I took that, where'd it go? Right there. I took that other roll pin out, set that over by the other parts. Now this is how easy the spring comes out once that's out of the way. It just comes right out, okay? And then this is what the whole goal was to get this out. See how worn that is? That is worn bad. So now what the goal is going to be is to weld it up and get it back to factory specs, right? Now you also have this recess, which does not seem to be hogged out that bad. On the other one, it was hogged out a lot worse. And once I get it cleaned up, I might say or think differently, but that does not seem bad. Now the other ones that I've done sometimes will have this hogged out too. I'll weld it up and take a file and file that all out. But that's how we do it. We struggle through and we get it all figured out. So let me get the welder warmed up, and that'll be the next video, is welding it up, grinding it down. It's Hat Wrap Around the House. If you liked the video, consider subscribing to the channel, hit the like button. Thanks for watching.